Hello. Hello. I am live. Here we go. All right. So I'm Amanda Call. I'm working on my webcomic, Age of Night. I've been working on this particular page for the last couple of weeks on the Tuesday night art stream. So this is chapter 24, page 17. I have drawn the whole thing. I've lettered it. I've done all of the background inking in pen and ink. And now I'm going to start doing the figures in brush. So I've got a Winsor & Newton Series 7 size 4 sable brush. I already uncapped it, so I'm not going to tilt it too much because that's dangerous, but Winsor & Newton India ink, the black permanent India ink. So hashtag not sponsored. I just really like their products. If they want to sponsor me, that would be cool. I got my brush loaded up and just kind of, this is awkwardly like on the edge of my desk where it's not very helpful. I'll move that over here and just kind of, after you load the brush up, sometimes you just need to hone it a little bit. Make sure the tip is doing what it's supposed to do. And, it's an eraser crumb on there. Get out of there. Gross. Get out of here. All right. So the top panel is actually already done. Everything in that was done with pen and ink. So that one I don't have to do anything on. I'm going to jump down here to the second panel. Oh my God. Drawing board, let's not. Of course, my very first stroke of the evening, and I have this weird blorb there that I will have to clean up later. Always something. Also, sometimes it takes a couple of brush loads to really get the ink nice and saturated and filled in there. Because normally I'd be able to go much farther than those couple little strokes on one brush load. But since I'm just starting out, the ink hadn't really permeated all the bristles yet. Also, I'm usually much slower when I first start off and then kind of gain speed as I keep going. Ooh, there we go. Getting some of these little folds of fabric of his robe tucked under here. All right. Load up my brush one more time before I start getting into his face. I don't want to be in the middle of one of those strokes and run out of ink. Hello, Mike. Thanks for joining. If anybody has questions, I do periodically look up at the chat so that I can answer them. Otherwise, I'll just kind of prattle and periodically fall silent when I'm working on something tricky. Just a little bit of depth to his face. There's his face. Oh, gotta get that shadow under his chin. Trevor, hello. Thank you. Okay, so the question is, I've never drawn with non-repro blue pencils before. Is there a different feel to them than regular pencils? Non-repro blue pencils tend to be very waxy, but what I use is actually not non-repro blue, partially because that stuff is terrible for my eyes. 1 second, let me grab it for you. Actual non-repro blue is terrible for my eyesight. I had to use it all the time in art school, and I swear it actually like made me need reading glasses 20 years faster than I should have. But what I use instead is the Prismacolor Colorase layout pencils. This is the layout blue. 20044 is the color if you want to look it up. And these are not very waxy at all. They don't feel exactly like, it is a wax base, so it doesn't feel exactly like graphite. But it feels closer to like a nice Prismacolor colored pencil. It's got that little bit of like creaminess to it instead of a waxiness. So it doesn't, like, you can ink right over it really nicely. It doesn't repel the ink at all, which sometimes the non-photo blue does a little bit. And it erases really nicely, which I'll just pick somewhere where it doesn't really matter if I erase. Somewhere I've already inked. Let's see. Oh, over here. So it erases really easily too. You can see it pretty much disappears immediately when you erase on it. And also the other reason, aside from the waxiness and the visibility, that I don't use the true non-photo blue is that it's not actually a thing anymore. Because scanners are actually too good these days. They'll actually pick up non-photo blue. So there's no point in using it because you're not going to use like a copier. You're going to use a scanner, and a scanner, all modern scanners have gotten too good and can capture too much of the spectrum. So non-photo blue pencils don't really not photo anymore. So you'd still have to go into Photoshop and clean up the blue. And this brighter blue is easier to see and actually easier to pull out in Photoshop than the non-photo blue, which is close enough to white that it does like funny things in Photoshop when you try to pull it. So that's the very long answer is to your question. But that's also why you see like my perspective grids are done in like red and pink, and those are also the Colorase pencils, and they're similarly very easy to pull out. I'm glad you've been enjoying the streams, and thank you for the question. That was a good one. Getting this fun hair texture. Right. Already have the reading glasses. Yeah, when I was like in high school, the optometrist was like, you'll need reading glasses by the time you're like 40. And then I went to art school and I needed them when I was 20. I was like, no. Baltazar and his wild, fabulous hair. There we go. Well, now he's done anyway. Get the rest of Zeke's finger that looks like it got semi-erased at some point here. Well, that ended up kind of a big finger. It's got big meaty paws, apparently. Zeke very into telling his story right now. Pretty sure I'm going to be able to finish this one on the stream tonight. I don't have much left to do, and the streams are only about an hour, but I really don't have much left on this page. I'll be awful close if I don't actually do it. And I'm not sure what I'm doing next week yet. It's like a few pages. There's a little ways to go before I get to another good non-spoilery page. Like, I don't want to show anything else from this scene. As it is, this page is about like a month away from being posted, but it's not like, since it's the first page in a scene, I don't really feel that it's super spoilery. But like any other page in this scene would be. Just kind of give away what's happening in it. Always have to be very careful with lighter colored hair to not like totally overdo the texture and then make it look dark, because Zeke has red hair, so I don't want it to look like super heavy like Baltazar's. Thinking about it, he's like the only character with fair hair in the whole thing. I don't have any blonde characters anymore. Womp womp. Poor Odd. I had one blonde character, and then I sort of wrote him out. All right, what's going on in this little corner here? We've got, looks like Baltazar's other hand on the reins. And I'm going to put in a little bit of shadow that should be like Zeke's side over there, trying to make sense of that little pocket. I feel like I got a little too much ink that time, so we're going to knock some of that off. Get it. Baltazar's horse's mane in here. There we go. All right, so that's 2 panels done. Moving on to panel number 3. And this disaster here. These figures are still very tiny. Be very careful not to just totally mush their features and to still keep them readable. Okay, the little kid is in front here. So there's that. Got this space between them. It's going to be a little bit shadowed. And we've got this figure lying here. These folks are not having a good day. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a pretty bad day this guy's having here. Usually, your day is not going well if you're lying in some sort of dark puddle. Whoops, went a little too far. This horsey trying to get up. He's stuck. This harness is stuck. I'm still not like great at drawing horses. This took a lot of reference and a lot of trial and error. Why did I put horses? Why am I doing a fantasy series? Why must there be horses? You'll notice that my main protagonists pretty much never ride horses. We spend a lot less time with these guys, and they ride horses pretty frequently. My main characters, you're usually walking. Poor horsey. All right. Hey, look at that. There's that panel down. That didn't have much in it. And we're only 20. Oh my gosh, I don't even know if I'm going to last the whole hour. We're only 20 minutes in. We're only 20 minutes in. I only have 2 panels left. Zeke's fuzzy little head there. Oh, Zeke, trying to be a good guy all the time. We have to help them. Thank you. Oh, Jay, I always feel guilty when you start commenting on these. When you start commenting on these pages. I'm sorry I killed your character off. This set of characters, it's based on some of my friends from college. Not like in person, well, somewhat in personality. Not entirely in personality. But my friend Jason Aarons, his character, I killed it off. Killed the guy off. Sorry about that. Try to distinguish that farther arm as being separate. Yeah. I'm glad you like the way that it was done anyway. And I hope that, like, if people were, like, paying attention to the clues that I had given earlier in the story, when some of the questions about how the Mages Guild did things came up, that wasn't, like, even if you were surprised, that it made sense. That it was like, oh, okay, I see what's happening here. As opposed to just like, what the... That's not where I wanted that line to go. What happened? What happened there? Oh well, that's recoverable. All right, got one character in there. I gotta get the other character in there. Try to keep these line weights back here a lot lighter so that it pushes Baltazar further back so he's not competing with Zeke, who is clearly in the foreground. Just so that you don't, like, at a glance, mistake any of their limbs as belonging to each other. Yeah, that line's a little bolder, but that's going to be hair. So it's going to disappear. This face of like, what? What? How dare you? What? There we go. All right. Almost done with this panel. Goodness. Just cruising right along tonight. This is part of the problem of why, like, when people ask me, how long does it take you to finish one of these comic pages? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, anywhere from like 4 hours to like 10 hours. It really depends. Some of them take way more time and effort than others, and sometimes they're deceptive. Like, sometimes you don't realize that they're not going to take as long or that they're going to take forever. Oh yeah, we still need to do this. We still need to do his horsey. Just turn my paper a little bit so that I can get a nice angle for that curve. And I was not thinking about how that was going to interact over here. Oh, also, in this weird little gap here, there should be like some things. Let's see. His body should be right here. That should be some of his robes and the edge of his saddle. Painted myself into a bit of a corner here. Wasn't thinking about the fact there's a black horse back here. Should have given that some deeper consideration before I started adding the shading to those reins so heavily. I may have to go in and pick out some more of that with gouache later. There we go. All right. I only have one panel left and we're only 38 minutes into this stream. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to make the full hour, it seems like. Whoops. How about that? I will go ahead and start telling you the things now since I'm working on my last panel and it looks like we're going to have kind of a shorter stream this evening because I'm about done with my page. I'm Amanda Call. This is a page from my webcomic, Age of Night, which you can check out at ageofnight.com. That's AGEOFNIGHT. I update a new comic page every Wednesday. And the whole thing is available for free to read online. This page will be up in about a month. So I'm a little bit ahead at the moment, which is a nice place to be. And while the whole thing is available for free online, if you want to help support me, you can do so on Patreon. So I'm on patreon.com/ageofnight, spelled just the same as the comic. Patrons always get their comics a week early. You also get to see like behind the scenes peeks and like sometimes my videos get up there early, like when I do the subject videos, not the live streams. You get free comics for signing up. Depending on the tier, you get more stuff throughout the year. It's pretty cool. There we go. What else? Oh, you can also buy the comic. The collected volumes are available. The latest volume is volume 3. So there's 3 volumes in print so far. So every time I get 7 more chapters, I release a volume of it in print. It is actually like structured and intended to be like a printed story. I just upload it on the web so that people can, read it because it takes forever to make. So yeah, volume 3 came out not last year, the year before. It's like last year didn't even happen. It came out in 2019, okay? We'll say it that way. I'm going to pretend I feel like last year didn't even happen. It wasn't even real. If only. But yeah, you can find it online. You can find PDF versions of it on the One Bookshelf websites. So that's DriveThruRPG, DriveThruFiction, DriveThruComics. You can find them on Skirmisher Publishing's websites. That's skirmisher.com. You can buy physical copies from my friendly local bookstore, the Briar Patch in Bangor, Maine. Those will be signed by me, and that way you can, I mean, it doesn't matter where you are, they'll ship them to you. And that way, too, you're supporting an independent bookstore and an independent artist, which is very cool. You can, of course, also buy copies on that website where you buy everything. They are available there, too. And the collected volumes do actually have like a little bit of bonus material as well. Yes. Print copies available on the website where you buy everything and also my friendly local bookstore, who will ship to like pretty much anywhere. I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. So the collected volumes, they have all the same comic pages that are online, and you actually get a little bonus content that isn't available online. So there's like a little bonus comic in it that's like just a short scene. Is not like plot relevant. It's just kind of like a fun character moment usually. And like, stuff about setting and sketches and cool stuff, basically as like a thank you for buying the actual physical copy. You can follow me on the social medias. I'm on Twitter at Age of Night. I'm on Instagram at Amanda Call Art. And if you like watching these streams and want to make sure that you catch them or any of my other videos, then make sure that you like this and subscribe to the channel so that YouTube will maybe, hopefully, notify you when I go live. Your odds of being notified when I go live if you like the channel are better than if you don't. But I'm not going to say they're 100% because YouTube is a strange and fickle beast. Is that all the things? I think that's all the things. If I forgot something, let me know. No conventions coming up. That always used to be the last thing I would mention. It'll happen again someday, just not soon. Oh yeah, if you do Facebook, there's an Age of Night Facebook page too. I try to be most of the places. Get his face before I finish that chunk of hair and then can't get back in here because it's wet. Next level, are you serious face? Freaking kidding me. Almost there. Just working on the goatee now. There we go. I think that's it. I think that's it for this page. So only ending a little bit early. We're 47 minutes in instead of the full hour, so we're pretty close. So, all right. Over the course of 3 weeks, I went from a blank page to a fully completed comic page. I've got 5 panels, all penciled, inked, and lettered. And yeah, it's done. It's ready to be cleaned up. I've got a couple little mistakes here and there. I'm going to clean up with gouache a little later once everything dries on it. And then I'll be able to scan it in and it'll be good to go. So thanks everybody for hanging out and asking questions and watching and liking stuff, and I appreciate it. And I will see you all next time. Bye.